Good day, everybody. So today is July 1st. I'm leaving to Dominican Republic July 23rd. I go back and forth every other month. My house, or my apartment actually, is in the capital, a town called Don Honorio. It's a real nice, quiet place. It's right by the American Embassy. Um, so my house is here. The American Embassy is probably like 5 minutes up, driving obviously. It's on La Avenida de Colombia, which the embassy is. My home is here. The embassy is here. Then you have the American town, which is literally right behind me from my house, which is a perfect location, since um, it's right by the base, and there's officially Americans living there, which is quite convenient. The issues that I'm having is shipping. So I'm shipping my vehicle. Well, I wanted to ship my car over there, but they're giving me a hard time. I went to the Dominican embassy. I have dual citizenship. And the embassy said that if I go in a move, then I can bring my vehicle. There's no issues with that. There's like this law called Ley 104-004, something like that. They gave me the paperwork. So, but I wanted to confirm because I had reached out to other folks that ship stuff over there. And I told them I want to ship my vehicle, amongst other things. And they said, yeah, you could do it, you could do it. But they gave me a little pretty steep price, which I wasn't trying to spend all that money. The first gentleman was quoting me $8,500. Then another person was charging me $10,000. Then I found another person which was gonna rent me the whole container, and I would just put the car in, and with all my stuff. I don't have much anyway, and ship it out there. But the last person who was renting me the container said, listen, you're gonna have a little bit of an issue bringing the car out, because the law that they impose, which vehicles can't be older than 5 years. My vehicle's a 2019. It's brand new. It's been sitting parked literally for a year and some change now. And that's a little bit of a pickle, because there's a discrepancy from the Dominican consulate, which they should know their laws, to the aduanas, which have the same laws since it's in the Dominican Republic. So there's a miscommunication. So I'm thinking about plan B. And obviously I'm not going to sell my car for whatever reason. So, well, first off, because I asked how much I would get for the car, and they said, they gave me a ridiculous low number, which I know my car is definitely not worth that. It's worth what it's brand new. So I spent a bunch of money on it. I'm not gonna just sell it for pennies. So I've been looking at options, and option number 2 is to ship it to Puerto Rico, pay the tax over there, which comes out to $5,996 or $6,000, right? Then put it on a ferry, drive over, and just keep it there in my parking garage. Because as long as the car's there, then what are they gonna do? So that's method number 2, which I'm leaning towards more and more every day. And the only reason why I haven't pulled the trigger yet is because if I do that, then I'd rather ship my washer, my dryer, my tools, just miscellaneous things that I need out there in the container with my dishwasher, so that it'll be smooth sailing. But I gotta set things up over there, meaning like with a little trailer, if I could buy a trailer, because you could bring anything you want from Puerto Rico to Dominican Republic with no tax, no nothing. You just hop on, you can load up the car with a whole bunch of stuff, and they'll let you pass. It's not a problem, which is phenomenal. So that's what I'm leaning towards. But the whole process essentially took about, I want to say, since October. I was scoping places out, checking things. I would stay in Airbnbs for a month, just walking around different places to see maybe like what could I afford, what's reasonable. Because, to truth be told, people think that Dominican Republic is cheap. It is in certain aspects, but it depends where you live, right? So you have high end, middle class, and obviously the low end. The low end folks, which I realized this, like say for example, you want to get a Presidente, that's one of those beers, a Jumbo or a Mediana. In the rich area, it'll cost you 220 pesos, which translates to like $4 or $5. But if you go to the hood and you get Mediana or Jumbo, it costs you 140 pesos. Same thing with the soda. So the demographic follows the economic situation where you're planted at, right? So I was thinking about this in where purchase I want to live. Obviously, I don't want to live where the rich people are, because for one, they have Piantini and Naco. I stayed there for a month and some change in both places. And boy, oh boy, that traffic is overwhelming. It took me an hour just to get out from that place to go to Los Rios, right? Literally. And it was most of the time I was stuck in traffic in that certain area because there's just an influx of vehicles and it's overwhelming. I don't mind it, but just looking for say an emergency situation where you gotta evacuate, where are you gonna go? You're gonna haul ass, like, you know? So for me personally, I didn't like it. I liked the ambiance because it was nice. You're around a whole bunch of tourists and restaurants, good restaurants. Everything was real close. You could do a lot, right? But the trade-off is that the traffic is just ridiculous. So so happened to be that we kept on looking. Then my girlfriend, she lives over there. She found the spot after we searched. I don't know. We visited like 15 places, and this one, the last spot that I pulled the trigger on, is where I live now, and it's phenomenal. I'm in a cul-de-sac, brand new building, 2 parking garages, gated as well with 24-hour security. And if the electricity goes out, they have a separate generator, so I don't have to invest in inversor or what do you call those, an inverter. I have a swimming pool, a gym, mezzanine area for family gatherings and whatnot on the 11th floor, which is nice. It's great amenities. But the best part about it is that I live in a cul-de-sac, so there's not many. Only the folks that live there go there, or obviously if you're getting an Uber or whatever. But it's not a transited area as other places that we visited, which is a plus for me because it's added value and security. And like I said to you before, the embassy is right behind. It's like 5 minutes up. Then you got the American Village that's literally right behind. So it's a nice spot, which I was blessed with. Thank you, Jesus. And in this whole process, every single time I would go, I would bring like 2 luggages. I would fill them up to the max. And I don't have many things, right? I just have a lot of tools, but clothes I don't really have. I have a couple shirts, pants, you know, basic shit. I don't really care much about that stuff. It's very simple. So I would just bring the summer clothes with me over there, and I'd leave them over there. Sneakers, I do have a lot of sneakers. I still have to send quite a bit of amount of sneakers over there, but that's further down the road. But the whole process, I was bringing my clothes while I was going, and I was just leaving them there and then bringing back the luggage empty, then going back, doing it over again. So it's cheaper than me just sending tanks every other week or what may have you, you know, as well as essentially bringing tools, whatever I could fit in there that I know I was gonna need to actually get a head start on my unit, meaning install the stove, the dryer, shelves, curtains, essentially pretty much getting the house prepared, right? So I brought some stuff to mitigate that beforehand. Then I'm sending, or I've sent already, tanks. You know, those big barrels, those blue ones. I sent a couple of those already. I loaded them up. Obviously, I purchased some stuff and I put it inside there. But the essentials are essentially gone, except the vehicle, right? Now, do I recommend somebody going through all these hoops and barrels just to send their car? Depends how much you like your car. If you're really attached to it and you know the value of your car and it has sentimental value, then I would just take the risk and ship it to Puerto Rico and drive it over and just keep it there. And once it's over there, you can handle it from there. Meaning you got to probably wash a hand here and there, you know what I mean? Just to get the paperwork in order so that you don't have any issues. Now, cars are extremely expensive over there, depending what car you're going to purchase. So that's one thing that you got to look at. And I wasn't going to buy another car over there because I don't, for one, that's one of the stupidest things that a person can do is just buy a vehicle and have a loan out there, right? I'd rather just buy it out. But the cars that you can buy out for, say for example, 10 to 17K, you don't really know their background history. You don't know if the title's been washed. So there's like a couple things that you can probably miss. But if you're a car person, you know what you're looking for, then you could probably find a good deal. But I didn't choose that route because I'm going to send my car. This was a gift, and I'm going to keep this vehicle forever. As well as, I'm going to have a truck over there. I'm looking to purchase a Toyota Hilux, not the new one. Probably like a 2014 or 12 body, diesel. Those things last forever with a couple maintenance upgrades and whatnot. That car will be sufficient for what I'm going to use it for. And ultimately, it's going to be a family car anyway, because that's what I'm forming out there. But one of the principal reasons I'm leaving is because I feel like United States is oversaturated. Here in the United States, you can make money. You make money, right? But you dish out most of your money. And if you don't allocate yourself or be very, very frugal with it, then it can go pretty fast. As well as there's the quality of life isn't here anymore. Me, I'm lucky to have certain things, right? Like experience with running a company. But if the market goes down, then business slows. So that's like kind of where I'm at right now because I'm an electrician. And I'm having a little bit of discrepancy with my seal to pull permits. So it's very political because it's very saturated, for one. For two, the lifestyle that a person lives here compared to over there is very fast. Very, 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 very fast. You feel like a lot of pressure. You're always in a rush. You're always trying to make moves, and you forget to breathe sometimes or forget to eat. That happens to me all the time. I work, and I just forget to have some food or call my mom or my girl, check in. I just forget because of the things that are happening. Look at me, you know, I've got gray hairs. And when I go over there, it's a different atmosphere. Things are a lot more calmer. People work at their own pace. But just the overall quality of life, meaning education. From what I've seen and what I've looked up, there's there's this category here in the United States that you they're not very well rounded in versatility versus a third world country. Um, and I was doing my due diligence, asking ChatGPT essentially what prospect would be a uh, uh, better off going to an Ivy League college, an American or a person that's from Dominican Republic. And believe it or not, they they chose Dominican Republic because of I guess the realism of it, because America's pretty much glorified. Um, it wasn't what it used to be back in the day. The food is shit. It makes you just wonder like what is really going on. And I genuinely haven't been, like, I lived in Brazil. Brazil is a phenomenal place as well too, but I haven't been to long there enough or experienced their culture to really give my opinion on it. But Brazil is a very nice place. I speak Portuguese. I can interact, and the amount of times that I was there, which I went quite often, um, it runs itself like the United States, but it's a better life, right? Now, the reason why I'm actually pulling the trigger to go out there is because I see a lot more opportunity in business, health, children, education. So those top three things for me is my top priority. So my experience overall moving has been pretty smooth, except for the car hiccup. That's the only thing. But I recommend the person doing their due diligence before they want to head out there. They should spend at least a month out there, not just traveling, but immerse yourself within the culture. Go to the barrios. Don't go to the hoods, you know what I mean? But you could go to like nice, good barrios where you could get like the culture, associate yourself, speak out, connect. Because there's a lot of Americans that live out there as well too, but you want to understand what and how Dominican Republic is ran, because it's not like America. First off, you go to try to open up a bank account, be prepared to spend the whole day in the bank. I kid you not. And then some. You probably got to go back. You got to do this. So it's a shit show over there. It's not as organized here in the United States, which is, it's kind of frustrating sometimes. But you got to deal with it because there's nothing that you can do. But the thing that I like, especially, is the healthcare. So if I have God forbid, an illness or whatever, say for my lungs, for example, right? I don't have to wait for my primary doctor to recommend me to go see a pulmonologist. It doesn't work out like that over there. You can go to whatever organ or whatever the fuck you feel, you can go to that doctor as long as you have insurance. And if you don't, then you pay out of pocket and you still get good care. Now, here in America, that's impossible. It's ridiculous. It's a shit show when it comes to that here. But over there, it's doable. It's not bad at all. And ultimately, what other trade-offs you might find to yourself? Well, traffic. And if you're a business owner, you gotta understand that, and you're coming from the States, people don't move out there like how people move out here. So it's not as fast and peppy. So if you go out there thinking that you're gonna be hauling ass, slow your roll, because that's not how it works. Folks over there are trained in a different prospect. Now, I've been thinking if they get paid a little bit more, they might put a pep in their step because there's an incentive, a little bit of a trade-off. But even then, they just have a whole different, they're happy with nothing or very little. Here in America, you're not like that. You're happy when you have material things, and that's what fulfills you, right? And I've been thinking about that more and more and more and more, And that was one of my reasons why I decided to move out and experience Dominican Republic for the first time. Well, for one, because I don't want to regret being old already and saying, shit, I should have taken the chance to move out there. Or I should have tried this. If it doesn't work out, I can always come back. I can reestablish myself. That's always an option. But I'm not thinking like that. I'm going to make it work out there because that's the only thing I have. Plan A. There's no plan B. There's plan A. And I'm seeing it through, regardless of the fact. God willing. But there might be some inconveniences and some hiccups and, you know, but that's okay. That's normal. That happens wherever you go. But do I recommend a person just moving out there without knowing their environment or where they want to go? No, I definitely do not. I believe that you should go and do your due diligence, spend a month out there, but don't just go and spend a month and think, hey, listen, this is where I want to be. No, you should spend a month, you come back, you ingest your environment here in the United States, self-reflect, and then you go back again, and then you do it some more, right? Travel, explore. You're not going there for vacation. You're going there for allocation, because you got to really understand the investment that you're going to make, and if you're going to buy a house or an apartment or land to build or rent, you got to make sure of all the things that come along with that. And it's a lot of money, and it's a lot of time, and it's a lot of thought behind it. I'm not saying it's not impossible. I'm doing it. More and more people are doing it. So it's just your due diligence. You got to have a checklist and make sure that you check every single thing off of that list so that you're covered all the bases and you don't go out there running around with, like a chicken without a head, because it's not going to end up very well for you. Also, I never had any issues with police out there. I got pulled over a couple times. You slide a couple dollars or pesos, you know, and you could smooth yourself right out that situation. So I can't say I've had a bad experience with police. I really haven't. It is what it is. Now, what I can say is if you're expecting your packages like from Amazon and Temu or whatever the fuck you buy shit from, right, to get to the house in 2 or 3 days, forget about it. It'll probably take you a week, 3 weeks, or a month, depending. You can do other things like FedEx, but it's expensive. I think DHL, UPS as well. But those things, FedEx is the one that I would recommend. I've used it before, which is a little bit steep, but it gets there. That's not a problem. So these are the little things. Oh, and then I forgot about that one. Cell phones. You got to figure out whether you want to plan, because they don't have unlimited plans out there. So you got to figure stuff out. You'll get a plan and it'll have good service, but that's one of the things that you can't compare. Also, Starlink. It's not available. You're on a wait list for Santo Domingo area. So, but anywhere out, meaning if you're going to La Romana, Punta Cana, Valladolid, or Santiago, or let's go Barahona, or Bani, the outer places have availability for that. But Starlink is on a wait list within the capital, which is kind of sucks. But I don't know. I'll get back to you guys because I'm going to try something. I'm going to bring my Starlink from here because the thing that I signed up for, the subscription, is worldwide. And I'm going to see if it works over there. And if it does, then that's the loophole. But if you're from Dominican Republic, or if you're purchasing it from Dominican Republic and they send it to you, you're gonna be on a wait list. That's the thing. Now, what else? That's essentially it for now. But this is my life, this is my journey, this is what I'm living, and I'm gonna record and document everything step by step so that you, the world, can either get motivated or informed to take a new step, a new chapter, to make one for yourself, right? You only have one life, people. Travel, explore, eat, learn different languages, communicate. Because that's what we're here for. We're not here for what they train us for. We are creative human beings that need to understand the potential of one's light, or inner light. And I'll give you my experience with my journey. I'll share that with you guys. I'll give you a quick update in the next couple days about the move. God bless you.